Really? It was that quick? I just restarted the stream and now we're good?
No. The stream's got to. Okay, the stream's booting back up. Give me a second. Yeah, we're good.
Everyone good?
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently if I have anything open, I just need to turn off my
Do
turn off the
we
stream.
get Audacity?
No, we're not doing Audacity anymore.
Oh, I thought
You were so far behind, my friend.
You're behind,
Okay,
dude.
we're a couple minutes late. You guys all ready? Then get this going?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Project Esports podcast. All three of us are finally back. James decided that after 4 weeks he wanted to come back and interact with us. Dylan, he has nothing better to do. He loves me too much. He has to be here every Monday whether he wants it or not. And I have no life, and I love this. This is my passion, my baby child, which is why I am very excited to say that this is our 1 year anniversary. Well, tomorrow is going to be our 1 year anniversary of starting the podcast. I even have a little popper. We have been doing this for 1 whole year, and my excitement has been it's crazy how much I've loved this. And we were just talking about it earlier today, our 1 year anniversary is coming up, and we realized it was tomorrow. So I wanted to do a little bit of celebration. I went to Walmart, I bought all this stuff. I have 10 more poppers, so I might do some more later on throughout the show. But I just want to thank you to everyone who has made this possible to where we are now. And because of that, we want to do something for all of the people that have been watching us and supporting us for the last year. Oh my god, it smells like gun smoke now. This was a bad idea. We are going to be starting a giveaway tomorrow that is going to run 1 whole week. It's going to be on our Twitter channel, and all it's going to have to do is we're going to put out a post, and you retweet and like it, and make sure you're following us. And then if you win, you have the choice between us buying you a shirt of the choice from any esports team that you want. So if it's the LA Valiant, the Gladiators, C9, whoever it is, you can get the shirt from us. Or you have the option of getting $25 worth of Blizzard credit, of Riot points, V-Bucks, whatever you kind of want. So that competition will start tomorrow. Watch out for that tweet. And do interact, because obviously we want to give back to you guys. We thank you so much for everything that you've done up to this point. So this is kind of our little way of giving back. But outside of that, are you guys ready to get going?
Do it.
Ready to be back.
James, we have been waiting weeks for you guys to have been back. You left in the worst possible time to be our League of Legends guy.
I know. Yeah, you take that off. You look good.
Are in the middle of Worlds right now.
Yeah.
Me and Dylan have just been brushing over it because we're not the guys to talk about this. So make up for your time lost and go on a tirade of everything we've missed.
All right, I'll make sure my camera wants to interact. There we go, perfect. Okay, so I won't go over play-ins too much. There wasn't any too crazy upsets over play-ins. My dire wolves unfortunately got eliminated. Not really surprised after their whole issues with their jungler. But that being said, groups has been a wild ride. We saw the elimination of Gen G, which is like the reigning champions from last year. They got taken out by the likes of Cloud9 and Team Vitality. These are 2 teams from the West. Cloud9, of course, having a very storied season, starting from literally last place, trying to sort out roster issues, climbing all the way to being second seat in their group at Worlds. Unfortunately, Team Vitality didn't make it. That being said, Team Vitality's coach, Yamato Cannon, basically set the tone for all the other teams that are not teams from the East, dominant teams from the East. Basically, he's telling everybody to play their style, play what they're good at, play your game. A lot of the commentators have actually been kind of mirroring this. Captain Flowers is a big believer of the play your game as well. And we've seen it's done crazy things for him. It's done crazy things for the West. This guy telling other teams to adapt their own play style has. I don't know if it's subliminally worked or maybe people are all on the same page now, but we're seeing ridiculous stuff.
Can we blame him for seeing Mordekaiser in Worlds today, or?
Yes, you probably can, honestly. You can probably blame him for also seeing Brand bottom lane with Tom Kench. You can also see probably blame him for seeing Echo mid. Oh, you can 100% blame him for seeing Echo mid.
Isn't Echo mid?
Echo is the mid, but he's not a meta champion right now. Okay. He's not considered in the meta. And he's basically he's probably one of the most influential people in Western League of Legends right now. Now we've just finished up, so 2 groups are done. We've seen RNG, who was the heavy favorites, who their last day both got taken out by Cloud9 and Team Vitality, which is ridiculous. So RNG and Cloud9 have gone through from their stage. Then till last night or this morning, I guess, depending on how you look at it, we saw G2, who beat up the Flash Wolves. So it's one Western team, and the other team being, oh my god, I'm blanking here. It is the other a Freak of Freaks. So a Freak of Freaks and G2 got out of their group only because the Falling Vu Buffalo, the guys who have the logo that looks exactly like the Chicago Bulls, decided to make a statement and take out Flash Wolves in their game even after they were eliminated. It was a really fun game. They put in their sub jungler. It was a mess. And it was bloody. It was super. That seems to be the reoccurring theme with so many of these games, is that they are bloodbaths. There's no macro. There's macro, but there's also a ton of micro. And I mean, that's what people want. That's what makes League of Legends entertaining.
It's been a lot more entertaining than ever for me. Like, I've really enjoyed it more than normal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for League of Legends for Riot in general, having these crazy fights, these crazy outplays, like this helps with their viewership. This really draws in more people, because you're gonna see Reddit being blown up by not only these game threads that are reaching like 6-7K upvotes, Gold did like 6 or 7 times. I think the Vitality RNG one got like 19 things of gold. Like, it was crazy. So like seeing that much in, like, I mean, you see that in r/all that pops up there every time, and that's going to draw in more people just from that alone. And then the interviews, the emotional interviews from the players, from the coaches. Again, I might have a bit of a man crush, but Yamato Kan's interview post game was incredible. The dude was emotional. It was inspirational. It was like watching Braveheart. Like, the guy knows how to talk. So I'm hoping to see, as a Western fan, despite the fact I used the Genji logo in game, I hope for the Western fans, or the Western teams, we start seeing a shift. We see more stuff out of Team Liquid. We see more stuff out of Fnatic, and we see more stuff out of 100 Thieves. I'm especially worried for 100 Thieves, considering how bad their last showing was. They got beat out in 20 minutes. 20 minutes and 25 seconds. It was a massacre. And the worst part was, too, is they had a decent early game. That was the worst part. I don't understand the reasoning, but they've also decided to use their sub jungler, which is a really, really weird thing to use at Worlds. Other teams have been using their subs almost as backups, but Rikara has displayed that he's not nearly as good as Cody-san. I don't know what the mentality was. Plus, we've gotten a really fun meme out of it. Basically, everybody is saying that Cloud9 or the Western teams play Fortnite more. They play Fortnite more than anything else. I think LS is laid on this. Loco Doko's laid into this. Tyler One's laid in. Or no, maybe not Tyler. But a lot of guys are bashing the West for playing other games when they should be disciplined. They should be focusing. They should be doing all this stuff. And now the Cloud9 has started a meme where, like, we really love Fortnite. So
yeah. I was really curious about that too. Like, I had no idea why.
Yeah,
that
so there was
kind of came up.
Yeah, so after week 1 or the first days of group stages, there was all this stuff coming out on how how the Western teams weren't playing the right games. They were playing Fortnite too much. They were playing a bunch of other stuff, MTG, anything that's current right now. So you saw controversial figures coming out and saying this stuff. Thorn, I think, was another one that kind of bashed in. I know how much Dylan loves hearing about him. Kind of just bashing the players, right? So, and then the players turn around, they get the win, they go on to semis, and then they basically just bash everybody. Cloud9's been a team that has embraced any of their controversy, that they really make it their own. Especially with like the roster swaps and stuff like that, and being benched, they took that in stride. They made it their own as well. So we're seeing this with Fortnite as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens out of the remaining 3 teams from the West, and we kind of go from there. I'm hoping for big things. Historically, Team Liquid has been known to not do the best. 100 Thieves also hasn't.
This is their first time.
100 Thieves is their first time. Team Liquid, not so much, because Team Liquid has so many storied veterans. They've all been here. They all know the stakes. They all know the pressure. It's just a matter of putting them all together,
Yeah.
right? So
That's at any of the top stages, though. Like, it's...
Yeah.
We've never been in that position, so we have no idea how hard that can be. But
well, and that's just it too. We have no idea what the pressure is like on them alone. I'm really hoping. I wish this would work. That again, they take a page out of Vitality, they take a page out of G2, because these guys have recognized their niches and their win conditions, and they've made it their own, and they've exploited it. They've made somebody else beat to their drum. I actually tweeted to Robert about this, saying that these teams need to find their drum and then make the other team start beating to it. And I think that's really the theme that we're going to see the rest of the time. I pray to God that we, like, you know, the other teams adapt, because it's working. It's working for them.
Yeah,
there's my tirade. There's my rant.
That is everything you've been holding inside for the last 4 weeks while we've been.
It's been brutal.
While we were just saying, nothing. Like, one of the biggest events in gaming is going on right now. We got nothing to say.
Yeah,
this is not us. All right, Dylan, is there anything you want to add to that, or you want to get out of this?
Nope. James did a great job.
James did a great job. Okay. So the next thing, we're going to keep talking about League of Legends, but in a much different way, and something that I think Dylan will have some opinions on this one. But, so E-League and Riot is partnering up to create a 1-hour special for TBS that is titled League of Legends 101. So pretty much what it is just an introduction to the game for those that aren't familiar with it, for those that are kind of curious of what it is, and it's going to run on TBS just like any other kind of hour-long TV show or anything kind of like that. It's going to be produced, and it's going to be more on the informative side and introducing people to what League of Legends is as a game, like how it's played and all that kind of stuff. As far as I know, there's nothing like this has ever been done at such a big stage. I mean, of course, you can go on YouTube and watch what is League of Legends. How do you play League of Legends? But there's never been anything this big, and even on national television. Well, TBS. Yeah, TBS is national. And obviously, it's not, well, for you, yeah. And obviously, like, it's not targeting, like, us. It's targeting an older generation. And, I mean, do you think this is going to be successful in introducing people to League and getting them curious and being more accepting of it? Do you think it's going to be people turning on TBS and watching what is this? Do you think they should do it for other esports? Just what do you think about all this?
So what I think is going to happen is they've done this before. It's like a very cursory kind of look at esports. And so this one kind of drills down a little bit more on League of Legends. So what I think is going to happen is it's going to air on TBS. There's going to be occasionally probably people just stumbling across it, but for the most part, I think it's going to be more of a tool where, you know, this is something to show your parents or someone, you know, because you try to explain what League of Legends is, but now you have this thing to go, just watch this. It'll explain it. I think that's probably going to be what it's going to be used more so for.
I'm not so sure about that, because I feel like, again, like Andrew said, a lot of guys that are or girls, whatever, a lot of people who are still living with their parents and want them to understand what the game they're sinking so many hours into is about. I feel like they've already would have showed them that YouTube video. They already would have showed them all the material that is available online, because again, for younger generation, that's their medium. That's the medium that they are used to operating in. It is the YouTubes, is the Twitch and stuff like that. I feel like people are gonna. I feel like older audiences are gonna hear about this. They're gonna talk about it, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, my kid doesn't talk to me about this game. They try to explain it, but I don't get it. They try to show me videos. I don't get that." Probably because it's geared, again, towards a younger audience. You show them something that is set for national television to air, and that's a bit more the older generation speed. Here I am bashing on people like 15 years older than me, but I mean, like, that's kind of it, right? That's their medium. That's the medium they understand. You know what I mean? I still have to you know, navigate my old man through, like, you know, through torrents and VPNs and stuff like that. But I chuck something on TV. I'm like, yo, man, just watch this for an hour. Games. I didn't say what the VPNs were for or the torrents were for. I'm totally fine.
There's legal torrents out there.
Yeah, exactly. There's legal torrents. Come on, man. But yeah. So I think this is a more accessible means for the older generation to understand what their kids are doing. It's almost like a PSA. You know what I mean? Like, to a lesser extent. But I think that's what we're gonna see it more used for. Vice. I think getting the kids to, or, like, you know, the teenagers, whatever, to show their parents, like, hey, watch this special, because I don't even know how many players even know this thing is going out. I haven't seen anybody talk about it in the games I've been playing. I've been playing a lot recently, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is one of those things that's like big, but I don't think there's like, so besides like obviously this medium, there's no reason to really talk about it unless it's applicable. I mean, if you have two people who are really into League, why would you just talk about like, oh, there's this intro to League thing? Like, this is something that people just know about.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then when it comes time to actually show someone that it applies to, you'll show them. Because like, there's no reason to talk about like, oh, there's this cool intro to League video when you've been spending hundreds of hours this season playing League.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I think so. Like, I love that League of Legends doing this and that they're taking like the initiative to try to like educate more people, especially with them starting to become more mainstream. But I think they're doing it with the wrong game to start. Obviously, Riot only has one game, but I think this would have been much more effective if Blizzard or the Overwatch League would have done this first, because that is airing on TV so much more.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense before the Overwatch World League, like the championship, to have a 1 hour episode like playing like what are you about to watch? And then if you're like, oh, this is kind of cool, like I wonder how the pros actually played, then you go straight into a big match or something kind of like that.
Yeah, I feel like you could almost do like an intro,
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's like the intro to the big event, because like
Yeah.
people don't need to be introduced to football. But when you're throwing something on ESPN that a lot of people don't know, they need an introduction for it, and you can't just expect them.
I disagree. They had that.
Did they?
Yep, they did.
They have like the minute intro videos.
Yeah,
before
the
each
minute
match.
intro videos. That was its version of it on how the game is played.
And I praise
it was
that.
pretty
Do
concise.
not get me wrong. I think that's amazing too. But when that's like you having someone to tune into the Super Bowl and they explain what's happening between every single play, but it's still only a base level. But if you have it go all the way deep in depth leading up to the event and then them explaining to you during the event, you'd have that double that education.
Yeah, but how in depth do you think this really is going to be?
I think it's going to be more in depth than you think.
No. I think it's going to be like a brief history of esports in general, probably a deeper history of a league, and like a cursory kind of glance on how it's played. And I'm pretty sure actually they had those in-game intro things on like how league works before. Like I'm 100% sure I've seen it somewhere. Maybe it was in a different esports documentary or something, but it was like something like, oh, each team has 5 players and you kill the minions to get to the towers, and then you get to the main base and kill it.
You want to
like
make a bet on this?
Deal.
I think that you, after watching this video, this 1 hour video, that you would feel comfortable enough installing it, calling a roll, and playing a game.
No way.
Against
no
bots?
way. No way.
There's so many. So okay. So, as the one who plays the most, and I will say this without shame, is the best out of the 3 of us.
Don't talk down to me just because you're a higher tier.
You're bronze. So
I am silver.
soon to be iron.
I am silver, sir.
Oh, good job. Okay, so but I don't think it's going to put you in a position where you feel confident enough and go into a lane. I don't think that's the case, especially where you need to learn champion matchups. You need to learn all that stuff.
But that's for advanced players. I'm saying someone can install the game, call roll or a lane even, and go in and feel comfortable off like, oh, this person looks cool. Let me go play against bots.
No. So I think,
okay, wait, no.
I think we're like, the argument is just like kind of null and void, because there's only 2 types of people. There's people who know how to install video games onto their computer, and if you know how to do that, like I'm not trying to put like League down, but like League is like, it's very intuitive, especially with the tutorial. Like if you can download the video game, it leads you through the tutorial. It kind of lets you understand how the game works, and you can go into an AI game and like kind of understand it. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. That like I think someone that couldn't install a game before this could install a game.
Older people don't know how to install programs on their computer, and this isn't going to tell them on how to install programs on their computer.
Okay, it might. No, I know it's not going to, but no, they're not going to walk you through the 10 minutes of how to install a program on the computer. I'm not talking about.
But if they can't install things on their computer and they're typing with one finger, they're not going to be able to play League.
Okay, so there's more than 2 groups of people.
Is there a point to this video?
There are people that have played games at some point in their life.
Okay.
I think what this is going to do is get people to be able to watch it without being so confused.
I think, yeah, because it's partnered with the E-League, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this is going to have a much more esports gearing for, like, explaining, like, why you're watching the map like this, like, why it's jumping, the camera's jumping around, all that kind of stuff. Not like, okay, here's how you play mid lane, here's how you assassinate the enemy team, or
here's how you gank, boys.
That's something I don't even understand. I need more than an hour to understand that for me.
That being said, they will probably go into the terminology. They will go into gank. They will go into what the casters mean when they're referring to QWER, all that kind of stuff, right? Items and stuff like that.
QWER?
QWER.
Oh, yeah. The abilities. Oh my god.
I think you need to watch this video, buddy. Oh man, this explains a little more than I thought when it comes to.
Come on.
No, but like I totally agree. I think they will go into things like, oh, what does it mean to gank? Like, what does this word mean? I can totally see that because they're gonna go over things that casters will say that like it is not intuitive.
Like the caster saying it with it being implied that the viewer already understands that, right? So I think it's going to cover stuff like that. It's going to cover game knowledge from that point, from a spectator point, not necessarily through a player standpoint. It also probably goes over like the format of like the coaches, the subs, kind of stuff, maybe stuff like that. I don't know.
Yes, I agree. Andrew is wrong on this point.
I don't think that's what James was saying, but I'm glad that's what he took out of it all. I think that's all you ever take out of these. Is that all you take out of these discussions of if I'm right or wrong? Is that what you're like, yes or no?
It's the eternal battle between you two, man. That's all it is.
I give up. I cannot do this anymore. Let's talk about Overwatch so I can feel better about myself.
All right, let's go. So, good stuff coming out of the Overwatch League. So Vancouver's team announced that they're going to be partnering with Luminosity, right? Luminosity? Is that how you say it?
Luminosity.
Yeah, Luminosity is their operations partner. So we've seen this before with a lot of other teams. So I think Splice was the other one that partnered up with someone.
They partnered with Toronto.
Yeah. So essentially what this means is they're running everything.
Yes.
Basically. The only thing is like they're just like, Vancouver is sitting up here. It's the same people that own the hockey team, right? The
Canucks.
Yeah, so it's the same company. Yeah. Basically, they're like up here. They're big boys up top, giving money to Luminosity so Luminosity can run it. I think this is the perfect way to run an esports organization because at least these dudes who are like, we want to get into this industry. We got the money. We don't know how to run it. Let's just get someone to run it for us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's much better than hiring whoever's available on market or something kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really good because these esports companies, they know how to do this and they're ready to do this. They just don't have the $10 to $30 million you need to get an Overwatch League spot. So I think this is really, really good. And I think it's going to reflect really well on their team because now they have like a game plan. Like they're not going into this as like a company that doesn't know what they're doing. They like Luminosity has teams. Like they know how to run an organization.
Don't they have Ninja? Yeah. Isn't Ninja signed to Luminosity?
He used to be.
Yeah, I don't think he's not on a team right now, right?
He's unaffiliated, I'm pretty sure. I think he's independent.
He's unaffiliated from it? Really?
But I thought Luminosity was one of his Halo teams.
That's who he played Halo for.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, so so he's definitely not still partnered with them because I mean like Halo's.
But no, but when he started streaming, there's Luminosity stuff on his stream.
Oh no, his old stream.
No, when I first started, when Fortnite first came out.
Oh well, I don't think he is anymore.
Oh well, I wouldn't blame him.
I want to say he's not, but I mean like if he is.
Because I was about to say, are we going to see a Ninja Overwatch crossover coming up? But if he's not affiliated anymore,
I mean, if he is still affiliated, that's a huge marketing angle for them. You know what I mean?
For Toronto, I mean, he's like
Vancouver.
I'm like, hey, all my hundreds of millions of fans. This is a really cool another video game. Go watch this and follow this.
Yeah,
game.
Exactly.
Like that's a built-in fan base right there. But we don't know.
Does Overwatch allow like co-cast or like co-streamed events? Can you like stream over it?
No, not as far as I know. I know League of Legends introduced that, but
yeah, they did.
They have not introduced that for Overwatch, as far as I know. Maybe like the World Cup and stuff, but
right. Because I mean, can you imagine if like they introduced that and Ninja can cast an event? Can you imagine what like that Luminosity plays and that'd be crazy. If he's still, of course, if he's still affiliated, right? We don't know for sure.
I feel like this
He is.
announcement was really, really
He's
late.
still
He
on-
is.
Yeah, he is. He got picked up in 2017 as
my
a
God.
Fortnite player.
That's oh my God, that's
That
That
is
was a
insane
snag
for
for
them.
them. That was a huge snag for them.
yeah.
But
And then this, like, yeah, how much say do you think he's, or like, do you think he's gonna have much play into it? I feel like he will, just because of his influence.
You know what though? How much you want to bet that was a leveraging tool for them to get this
Oh
deal?
my God, yeah.
Like whenever they did the
we have
request for
Ninja,
proposal, for sure they wrote on there like a huge section like, yeah, we have Ninja, we have Martin.
Yeah.
Like for sure, because I'm assuming they read that, and like to get into Overwatch League, I'm sure the people running the Canucks had to like know about it, but like they were probably reading through it, saw Ninja go and went like, oh, like this
Sign.
easy done deal, easy clap, boys.
Easy clap, yeah.
yeah, I just feel like it's really weird because Splice was announced almost instantaneously alongside the signing of Toronto. So I just think it's so weird that Vancouver came in so late. Does that mean? What do you mean?
No, it just takes time to do deals and wrap things up.
That maybe they're looking at other teams and stuff. Like
Yeah.
That just makes me think that they're so much farther behind in signing players and signing coaches. If that deal is just finalizing now, who was working on signing the team?
No, I mean it kind of spells for concern too, because Splice was denied franchising from EU. So I don't know. Like, I'm surprised they got a Overwatch franchise spot.
Well, they don't have an Overwatch franchise. They're an operational manager, very similar to Luminosity, for a big one. So whoever, like,
Yeah,
Luminosity didn't have to get approved by the Overwatch League. They're just paid
It would
by
be whoever the
has a
operator
spot.
was, right?
Yeah,
So,
so
okay, so it's the
Luminosity
same-
has no deal with the Overwatch League. They have
Right.
a
So
deal.
it's the same.
What?
Go ahead. Sorry. Go finish.
They have a deal with the investors who got the
Yeah.
Overwatch spot.
Okay, so and the same investors that own Splice also own the Bruins, I think, because that's where Splice operates out of, is Boston.
Okay.
So it's another big team. It's two hockey. That's so Canadian. That's two hockey teams getting Overwatch teams. That's the most Canadian thing I've ever heard. Yeah, exactly, right.
It's
But
on
some-
brand.
But
It
something
wasn't the
else
Leafs.
that I want to bring up, because this is something where I am correct. This is why I wanted to move to Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, maybe correct. It's not 100% confirmed.
Toronto put out on Twitter today that they will be giving an introduction to the world on October 24th, which to me, it is a 5-hour event, which means they're revealing the team, the
It's
name,
a 5-hour event.
the logo, and they're announcing the team. Which, if you missed it last week, me and Dylan made a bet that I think at least 2 teams before December 1st will announce their branding, and that's one of them being announced in October. So, I just think this is exciting. I just think the bigger kind of talking point on all of that is that once one team announced, I think the rest are going to be following soon very quickly. Because if Toronto announced first and then all the expansion teams wait another month to announce, well, that's a month behind of Toronto they are for gaining fans, building a brand, all that kind of stuff. So I would not be surprised within 2 weeks of Toronto making their announcement, unless someone else makes a surprise announcement, of all teams being announced. I think within a month, every single team will be announced of today.
What if
What if?
you're not right? What if instead they reveal their staff?
Why would they need? Okay, I linked it in the article. I can't pull it up. Look at the time on it. It's 3+ hours.
No, that isn't. It's 4 hours. Why do you need actually, if you're doing like logo, you're doing players and stuff like that. Why do you actually need 4 hours? What are they going to do in these 4 hours?
Tour the facilities is what I'm thinking.
It's at a church.
What?
It is at a church.
Because it's just a venue.
Okay, no, but I mean, like, in the venue, I don't know, like, show a video of the...
No, okay, even if they did, you could show like 2 movies in that time.
Yeah, exactly,
4 hours is a disgusting amount of time.
I'd
I'm
watch
going
the
to be
first 3
very blunt.
diehards with that amount of time. That's...
Yeah, there's no way this could be entertained for 4 hours.
Well, then what? They're probably just overbooking it. There might be like a chance to get the player, like get an autograph from the players, meet and greet the players.
Is it a 4-hour presentation or is it a 4-hour like?
It's a 4-hour event. It says
Okay, so
come join us for these 4 hours on October 24th at this random church in Toronto for our introduction to the world. Is pretty much what the graphic means. which I think presentation of the staff, logo, team name, colors, roster,
Player.
meet and greet of the players and the staff, and then something. Okay, raise your hand.
I know
yes.
what's gonna happen. They go to the church, right?
Oh,
Everyone's walking in. It's silent. There's just candles everywhere. Then the hymns start. There's chants.
Oh, no.
They announce that the next Messiah has been born.
What are
and
you
then
doing?
Raising up, we see the first player
XQC.
announce XQC. He is born again.
Yeah, reborn
I'm
from
ready
the
for it.
ashes.
I actually
4
think you're
hours
now
of him
wrong.
just standing on stage.
XQC is going to go to one of the Canadian teams.
Who's
It's
not?
gonna be Toronto. No, he's not gonna go. I don't think.
Why?
I don't think he wants to play. He's too
Why
big
would
of
he?
a streamer.
Yeah, like I mean, it's the same. It's the same reason why like so many league players just stay streamers. Like I mean,
But then again, he seems like he's like stubborn enough to where he would go just because he wants to win.
Yeah.
that's true. On a different team, yeah.
It's redemption. Like, who wouldn't want to come back, redeem, and kind of beat your old team, especially when your old team sucks?
You know what team I think isn't going to be on Andrew's timeline of roster announcements? Houston Outlaws.
What do you mean?
I don't think they're going to be there. I don't think that I think Houston with all leading into our next article, I think with all the roster all the staff layoffs they've had.
I'm just talking about new teams. I'm talking about new team
you're
branding
talking
and basic
specifically new
rosters,
teams.
or at
Okay.
least a couple
My
players.
bad,
Maybe
my
not a
bad.
full roster, but like, here's our staff. Here's our color and logos. Here's like the 2-3 players.
No.
we
I
have
meant
signed.
in that month period of you talking about like all the teams announcing the roster. You just mean explicitly new
I
teams,
just mean exclusively
right? Okay.
that. Because there are changes still being made every day. Like, that's
Yeah.
just keeping track of the roster kind of in your head. Like, I saw Closer got dropped or traded to the Dallas Fuel, like, right before the show went live. Like, that's kind of constantly happening. So, like, I'm not worried about that, because if you just keep track of all the trades, you already know what the rosters are.
Yeah.
Unless they announce cuts and that kind of stuff. So, I'm not thinking about that as much. I just think team announcement and all that kind of stuff. The Toronto Riot. Okay, so if it's the Toronto, what's the logo going to be? Like, what is a Ronto a thing?
I don't think Ronto's a thing.
Come on, you're the
I-
Canadian.
You're the Canadian.
I've never heard that term before in my life. I've never heard that. And I've been to Toronto. I've been to Montreal. I haven't heard anything like that. I've never heard. I don't even know what a Ronto is. I think. Quickly Google's Ronto. Yeah?
Wait, okay, so Ellie Valiant, what do you think about the Washington, D.C. Cherry Blossoms? This is the
That's
ultimate
going to
vote.
be the name. I'm sorry, boys. I just know.
This
already
is
have
the
a
ultimate
graphic,
vote
we
on
have
if it's a good name
There's
or
a
not.
graphic.
But yeah, the graphic wasn't bad. But okay, kind of moving on too while we're waiting for that response. According to Wikipedia, it's a 4-legged herbivore on Tatooine.
My god.
You had me in. Oh my
I
god!
swear to God. We're not gonna name our team after some goddamn fictional.
Oh my god, the Toronto Ewoks.
It's copyright, dude.
I've talked
So
about
is
this
a
before.
so is a Ronto probably.
Yeah, probably. I like. It's going to be something super Canadian. It's gonna be like I can see us being called the Toronto Canadians. I can see that happening.
Or the Toronto
That'd
Maple
be
Leafs,
really
please.
funny.
I that's just it. It's gonna be that. It's going to be, oh my god, I can see the polar bears. I can see that. I mean, it's going to be something very, very iconic that is like we can't screw up. I could even see Toronto being called the Leafs. I can see that. Or well, I guess, like I mean, if we
I would
get
buy
another
that
Leafs,
jersey in a heartbeat.
and our colors are gonna be red or blue and white. It's gonna happen.
Oh, and one of them's going, and Toronto's going to be black and red. You are. Oh wait, no. I think
That's Ottawa.
Atlanta's going to be black. I don't know. I'm really curious to see the color combinations. That's my favorite part. That's why I picked the LA Valiant to fall in love with them. Because of the color. So I'm just curious to see that because I think that makes the team as much as the name and the logo. So personally, with that, but honestly, I don't remember what our next talking point is.
Isn't it the Houston?
Infinite cuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you were trying to lead into that earlier. I'm very
I was
sorry.
trying- I was trying to
I still don't
transition
have the thing open. You were doing a good job leading in. That's me being a
Thanks,
bad
man.
host.
Thanks, buddy. So am I gonna talk? I guess I'm gonna talk about it then, because I was the one leading into it. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you're the one leading into it.
So it was announced earlier last week or later last week that Infinite, who is the company above the Houston Outlaws, as well as Optic Gaming, laid off 20% of their staff, including and this is a part of Affinity, Romain, who is the coach of the Optic team for League of Legends. So not only is the Houston Outlaws getting hit, but so is Optic Gaming as well. I mean, it's kind of saying, it's two sides of the same coin, but I mean, that the entire organization is taking a whooping, and we don't know where this is coming from. Where Houston or like the Optic brand is massive. It's one of the oldest teams that have been around. They've been around since like COD. It's where Nadeshot got his start. You know what I mean? Like these guys are like storied. This is quite the organization. So to see them making this many cuts, that's kind of concerning. And this is where we start maybe eyeing up, the bomb shelter, being like, oh no, is this the collapse of one of the most storied teams in esports? You know what I mean?
You're way overthinking it. Rob said in the chat.
I don't think I am, man. I'm freaking out.
You think Optic's going down? No, they're just growing too fast. They had a new investment group coming. They had new kind of high level people coming in. They had a new influx of money. They're like, let's grow, take advantage of esports. Then they realized, even though we are Optic, we can't sustain this big of a team. They hired too many people. They said in their statement, we grew too quickly. That happens all the time. You look at huge startups that are just become unicorns, and they go from 5 staff members. A unicorn is when you get a $1 billion valuation in under a year. That's what that means.
Thank you. Business terminology. Thank you.
It's just that they go from having such a small staff to growing way too big because they see the money coming up, and they either mismanage, they realize they don't need everyone they hired, or they just want to keep a smaller staff. This is not the end of Optic. Those 19 people will get a job somewhere else in the industry because they worked for Optic. And those 20 positions that were lost at Optic within 3 to 4 years will probably be hired back because they'll be growing at an appropriate rate rather than bringing on a ton of people all at once and needing to cut back, which happens all the time in businesses. It's like during crunch time. For when you're making a video game, you hire on a ton of people really quickly to get everything done, and then the Overwatch season just ended. Like, they're kind of between seasons right now, so they don't need all these people. There's no League of Legends for them. There's no Overwatch for them. COD is just getting going right now. What are these people doing?
It's 20% though. It's not 20 positions.
I think, it's 20%. So it's an okay amount, but I think I'm on board with Andrew on this one. Surprisingly, I agree with Andrew for once. And I actually think this is probably going to be a trend coming up fairly soon with a lot of esports organizations. I think all that VC money is going to come in, and people they're just going to be hiring like crazy. They're going to be picking up a ton of people, and I think a lot of the maybe not as experienced business-wise companies are going to do the same thing. They're going to hire way too much, go too ham,
overshoot.
Because why wouldn't you? You're so excited. You have money, like. I don't have to do this role anymore. Why would I now want to hire an intern or something kind of like that, or just a lower level person, when really the person hired can still do it? But you're like, oh, we have all this money now. Why not just have 2 people do this work and make everyone happier? That's not how business works.
That's fair. That's fair. You don't think this is in reflection? Like, how did the Houston Outlaws do overall in the OWL?
They had a success. They've had a decent. They didn't win any stages, anything kind of like that.
Yeah.
But they have a good loyal fan base. They're doing the street fashion lines, and they're popular in kind of that sense. And when I see them on my timeline, they are one of the more talked about teams on social media as well, because they have a good presence there as well.
Okay,
so I wouldn't say they're like a dominant team, but they've built a good brand off of the Optic brand, kind of building up from that. And I'd say you can never like knock them out like Shanghai or Florida Mayhem. Like, they're a good team to that extent, at least.
Yeah, see, and like I'm seeing this from the League of Legends side of thing, where they had like a mediocre, like very mediocre season. They ended 9-9. So basically, previously it meant you weren't getting relegated, but you weren't making playoffs, or you weren't in the gauntlet or anything like that. It was that in between spot. And then Romain leaving on his own. and then the ton of controversy based around their mid laner Power of Evil. I thought this was just like, this is me putting on the doomsayer hat and being like, oh my god, like they're jumping ship, they're bailing out. But yeah, no, I guess like I didn't think of it so much from a business standpoint of being like, okay, we have FU money. We can do what we want. We've done what we need to do. We've got it established. Now we can trim the fat, like Rob said. So I mean, I guess if that's the case, then I guess there's
and
no
it's
reason.
not good. I mean, I'm not saying that like, oh, these people deserve to lose their jobs.
No
one deserves to lose
not,
their jobs, and cuts for any organization is never a good thing, but it's necessary. And by cutting back on staff, they're going to grow faster and be able to bring back these staff and sustain them better when they get to that point, when they start bringing more money. And making more money with the staff they have allows them to bring on more staff in the long run. So it's not the end of Optic. If anything, I would not be surprised if their their end of day numbers next year were higher with less staff than they are now.
Yeah. I think the proper word to describe this is expected more than anything. I guess like with something like the process that they've kind of undergone.
This is a totally common, especially in the video game industry. They stock up quickly and kind of cut back quickly based on the busy seasons and all that kind of stuff. So we don't know if these were all contractor roles. Like we don't know if these were full-time staff or anything kind of like that. They're just
no.
Was it full-time staff?
We do know they're people who moved out to Texas to work.
So they were working in the
They were, yeah.
Because like we cut 10% of our force, but they're all like remote workers. So, but if that's not the case, that's different still. Yeah. But if you had a year experience at Houston Outlaws, you're going to be able to get a job somewhere else in the video game industry or esports, especially with how quickly it's growing. So, I hope they all find something. But this is not the end for Optic, Houston Outlaws, anyone kind of like that. Dylan. You have nothing to fight back with me on to this one, so you don't have much else to add.
Yeah, because he agrees with you. This is the thing, right? Yeah, it makes for a very makes for a very quick discussion when you two get along.
Okay. Well, with that, we're kind of going to move into one last topic today. It's Fortnite. I think is probably making the smartest decision esports-wise they really could have. So they're kind of still doing like the Friday Fortnites, the summer skirmish, the fall skirmish, and all that kind of stuff there, but they're bringing an esports kind of competition to the masses now. So today they announced that they're bringing not weekly, like just occasional tournaments to the masses of Fortnite. So anyone is open to play for these different tournaments. So they have solo tournaments, duo tournaments, squad tournaments, all going on at different times or different dates and all that kind of stuff. And it's open to anyone. So everyone plays on the same platform, whether it's mobile, whether it's console, whether it's PC, and you go against each other and see who is the best. And I'm assuming you win V-Bucks or something kind of like that in the end. While it doesn't seem like a lot, one, it is going to get people more committed to the game than they already are because now something's on the line that's a consistent way of winning it. Two, it gets people into real competitive esports. Like, you are an esports athlete at that point. Not an esports athlete, an esports player. You're a professional player when you're playing in these tournaments and possibly winning prizes. That's kind of the equivalent of being an amateur or something kind of like that. You're getting more involved in the scene and want to get more involved outside of Fortnite. And three, I don't know why every single game doesn't have something like this constantly. I know Riot tried to introduce Clash, but that comes out once like every 3 months. It feels like I've only seen it go live once.
It might be even longer. Yeah.
Like and Overwatch would do the same thing too. Like it would be so much fun and such a big boost if you could form a team and go through an Overwatch tournament. If it's just once every 2 months, like just these kind of events that get you playing as a team and getting you played at a higher competitive level, I think gets you more involved in esports and grows that scene. And gets you more involved and more willing to spend money on the game because you're more committed to doing better.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is probably this, like, if they maintain this well and they keep this like up to date. By the looks of it, it is like it's going to be a constant thing. Like, this spells good for like not only the game but their esports community. So I think I can't really see. I'm trying to find a negative to this because I'm not a the hugest Fortnite fan, but I don't think there is one. I think this is good all across the board. Dylan, I don't know if you're shaking your head in agreement with me or what.
I don't know. He's been shaking his head a lot. I don't know where he's going to land.
There is no downside to this. I think it's a really good thing, and there's a lot of games out there that totally miss this boat. So mainly the one that goes off of my head is StarCraft 2. Implemented his tournament mode way too little too late. And it's such a good thing. Like, why wouldn't you put a tournament mode into it? I know Hearthstone, the whole community is like incredibly upset because people have been wanting a tournament mode and they've been promising it forever, never getting it. This is something that people want. Just give it to them because I couldn't tell you like how reminiscent this is of like OG console, like Call of Duty or Halo. Because like you would go in and you would play game battles or something, and that was kind of the same deal. It was cool tournaments, and like the feeling that you had of when you went home and you were like talking with all your friends from school, like, yo, we're gonna play in this tournament this weekend. It's gonna be so sick and stuff. But this is just a way that it's like so easy to do, and there are gonna be so many like kids out there and so many like younger guys and girls who are gonna just like form up teams and play, and that's such a hype thing. And I'm so glad they're doing this because I love in-game tournaments. I think it's such a good thing for the game.
It's harder than it sounds, but like it's just such an obvious thing for any competitive game. Like, yes, it's going to put a lot of work into it, but it gets people back in. Like right now, I'm full commit to Call of Duty. I've put in so many hours into it over the weekend. I've been playing Blackout, multiplayer, zombies, all of it. But when I saw this announcement, I texted my friend. I'm like, we need to switch back to Fortnite and start grinding and getting ready for this tournament. Because Duels tournament starts next week. And I'm like, I'm ready to never play Fortnite again after Call of Duty came out. I'm like, this hits all of my urges. I have Fallout coming out. Like, I have other video games coming up. I don't need Fortnite anymore. Now they introduce this. They give me back full-fledged. And I'm going to buy skins or the Battle Pass or anything kind of like that when I'm on. Because I'm playing more now because I'm getting ready for the competitions. It keeps people playing. It gets them on during specific times. And it gets people talking about the game outside of the game. Because you want to talk about when you do well or when you did really bad. Or, oh my god, I got killed by Ninja in this public tournament or something kind of like that. Like, that's all huge for people.
Now, there was an interesting comment building on Ninja that was brought up in the chat. Is what if Ninja does bad in these? Do we think that's going to hurt the brand at all? Do we think it's going to... or is that just going to hurt his brand?
No, neither.
So, I don't think he'll play in these.
No, I think he would.
I think he will.
He will pop into some for some fun. I don't think he's gonna be doing every single tournament, but like if he loses, he loses. I mean,
he's lost like a million games already that we've seen. Like he doesn't win Friday Fortnite whenever he does that every single week and stuff kind of like that. He doesn't even participate in that half the time. Which is probably smart for him. Like I actually do kind of agree. Like if I was Ninja, I'd stay out of it because people already think you're a god, and if you don't play against other really good people and you just play norms and dominate every time, that brand is not going to go down. I wouldn't play in these if I was him personally, but.
I know. Like, I know he's been like. I mean, I know he plays pretty competitively when he plays Blackout right now. When he like, I was talking about this in the pre-show that, or maybe it was before the pre-show. I don't know. That I've been seeing Summit playing with him as well as like Dr. Lupo and stuff like that. Like these are big names, right? And they take that stuff pretty seriously. So I could like. I mean, like because you hear their comms, you hear everything, right? So I wouldn't be surprised even if he does participate in some of these, maybe not all of them, but I mean. With with another big streamer personality just to kind of promote it, you know what I mean? I can see that, but I don't think it'll really touch his band.
Yeah, I guess I don't have much else to add. Dylan, do you have anything to add? Like, I just love this. I think this was such a great idea, and I'm excited to go back and play and probably do horrible in it, but it's just a reason to go back to Fortnite, and it just gets me excited about the game, which I think is the most important part of anything you do when you're implementing to a game like this. And I hope that I think Blackout will follow soon quickly. PUBG will probably do it in about 6 months.
No, I disagree.
Will never do it.
I disagree. Both of those games won't do in-game tournaments.
Why?
They just won't. I just know. Trust me.
Dylan's been around the block, man. He's a storied veteran of the in-game tournaments. MTG's already started to do them.
Yes.
It came implemented with the beta, which is pretty hype.
Still no live drafting, but.
Still no live drafting. Magic the Gathering, their arena, which it's attracted a lot of Hearthstone pros. Like it. Yeah.
A lot of them are playing it because it's a card game that's. I mean, it's already an established card game that's like the most popular. I think it's the most, probably more than Pokemon trading card game.
I think it is.
Like, yeah, and so like they just have a actual good, video game version of it. So why wouldn't it be one of the top games?
Yeah, exactly. And it's there's much less. I mean, there's been tons of commentary that Hearthstone is too based around RNG, where MTG really isn't. There's
it's based around buying the decks for hundreds of dollars, but
true. But I mean, that being said, though, it's nice because you can go in there as a casual. They give you decks as you get wins, which is really convenient. They just straight up give you decks as you win across like each day and stuff like that. And each deck has a different theme and stuff like that. So you not only get the deck, but you also unlock the cards for that, so you can unlock more. Plus, you can earn packs. It is fun, yeah, and you earn packs for free. You can earn pretty much about 3 packs a day without buying, which is pretty hype.
It's a lot. That's a lot of packs.
Yeah. Like it's pretty good. So I've already sunk like $30 into it, but I mean, like,
and that will not end soon. So we are getting close to the end of the show. We have about 5 minutes left before we're supposed to cut off, and then we go into Woody's time. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about today that we missed on, brushed over? Any last points while the three of us here together?
I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back for the next 3 podcasts after this.
Yeah, 3 more podcasts. We'll be back with that. Then we'll go back to the cycle of bringing in guest hosts. But it'll be good. We'll hopefully have some changes coming up and all that kind of stuff. We're always trying to keep doing whatever you guys want, but it's glad to have both of you guys back. It's always fun, especially for the 1-year anniversary. That does make it so much better having both of you guys here, because obviously it'd be kind of sad if you weren't here for the 1-year review.
I know, right? It'd be yeah, I don't know. That'd be
but it'd be on brand though.
It would be on brand.
It would be totally on brand. Exactly. Yeah. No. I wouldn't be surprised.
But with that, one last reminder that we are doing a competition starting tomorrow after the podcast goes live. Keep an eye on our Twitter for you to win a t-shirt from any of your favorite esports teams or some V-Bucks, Riot Points, Blizzard currency, whatever that's actually called. You will have an opportunity to win that on our Twitter tomorrow by retweeting, following, and liking that. So do keep an eye out for that. We will pick the winner for that next week and announce it live on the show. So do tune in next week if you are interested in that. And please go on to Twitter and do that. But with that, thank you so much for watching, as always.
Yeah, you can find us every single Monday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time right here on twitch.tv/The Game Haus. And on Tuesday mornings is whenever all our VODs and all our podcasts go up. So if you just want to listen to the podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, literally every single podcast platform out there. If there is one that we're not on, I'd like to see it. But yeah, so that goes up every Tuesday. So you can always see us there.
Yeah. And guys, any attention you give us, any comments, any likes, any comments in the chat, regardless of how ridiculous they are, we appreciate it all. It means a ton to us. Like we've talked about tonight, this was our 1 year. From our first show to having like no chat interaction, no nothing, no followers, is the growing to what we are. Even though we are still small, it means the world to us. You guys are helping us do what we want to do, and it means the world to us. And with that, guys, I'm James.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Andrew, and we're getting close to a perfect ending. See you guys next week, and thank you for tuning into the Project Esports podcast. Stay online to watch Woody with his stream. See you guys next week. So yeah, I guess we won't do much of a post show today, I guess, because we had to went close. But yeah, thank you very much to everyone that did tune in. And in the chat, especially you guys, LA Valiant. I don't know who you are behind that, but thank you so much for tuning in. That's personally a huge thing for me because I'm a huge LA Valiant fan. Yeah, Rob. Let's go through it. I'll just read off all you guys. Baymax, anyone that kind of interacted with us in the chat today. It really does mean a lot to us. And if any of you are not following us, just push a little heart button so you get live whenever we go live, whenever Woody goes live, whenever the Watch House podcast goes live. We do a lot of great content on this channel, so please do follow it and kind of keep up with that. But for real this time, I'll see you guys all next week, and thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Thanks, guys.